Good evening, I'm Rochelle Dean.
And I'm Josh Berry. Thank you so much for joining us for the news at 5. Let's get you right over to your forecast at 5. Chief Meteorologist John Farley joining us live in the Weather Center. And John, bright, sunshiny day outside.
Yeah, it's very nice, isn't it? Let's take a look through our live camera here. And nice, no problems. 81 degrees, the low humidity. It's pretty comfortable outside if you have any plans for the evening. Here's a look at things. In terms of the radar, right now it's quiet out here to our west. There's a little something, and if you work with me, see this moisture down here in the Gulf? Some of that will get caught up and bring us a few showers tomorrow. Now, we'll go through that forecast in just a second. First, we'll take you through this evening, and as you see, clear as a bell, no problems here. Temperatures 70s and then 60s. A very comfortable evening. Now tomorrow, the way this is going to play out is this. It looks as though we're getting soaking wet all day. We're not. There will be the threat of showers here and there as we go through the day, but it's not going to be a soaking wet day. The heaviest of the rain gets in here after sunset tomorrow. So have your umbrella with you. From time to time, there'll be a few showers, but again, not soaking wet. Just a bit of rain until after sunset. We'll talk about more rain in the 7-day coming up in a bit.
It has been 3 days since President Trump visited Benedict College in Columbia, but some students are having mixed feelings about how that visit was carried out.
ABC Columbia's Tim Scott spoke with several Benedict students this morning. Tim joins us now live to tell us how some will remember what took place this weekend. Tim, what can you tell us?
Well, Josh and Rochelle, some students say they were happy that their college was able to take part in such a historic event. But others say they wish they could go around campus when the president was in town, saying they were locked in their dorms for an hour and 40 minutes. Per Secret Service protocol, they have to be cleared out of their dorms and off campus while the president is in the area. Some had the chance to watch the president's remarks in person. At 32 students exactly, according to Rosalind Clark Artist, the president of Benedict College, and those students got to witness the president's speech, which made up 10% of the total crowd on hand. Meanwhile, some students had the option of going home for the weekend, while a handful had to stay inside their dorm rooms for that hour and 40-minute window.
Honestly, the atmosphere was just a little off to me. We wasn't really allowed to leave our dorms as much. Some people stayed in their rooms a lot, some were just hanging out in the lounge. Yeah, it was really weird, honestly. I'm not used to just having to sit in the room the whole time.
Some other students said it was a great experience to see so many presidential candidates, as well as the president himself, come to their campus. And President Artist did say it was unfortunate that the president did not have a question and answer period after his speech on Friday, saying that students should have had the opportunity to ask, like all the other candidates that had the chance to speak this weekend. Josh and Rochelle, back to you.
All right, Josh, thank you. Tim, thank you. Well, the self-declared leader of ISIS, Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, was killed over the weekend following a United States Special Forces operation in Syria.
President Trump is now saying he knew intelligence officials were zeroing in on the Islamic State leader when he ordered American troops to withdraw from northern Syria earlier this month. Here's ABC's Serena Marshall.
His compound leveled, the leader of ISIS dead, but Pentagon officials warning.
Baghdadi's death will not rid the world of terrorism or end the ongoing conflict in Syria. But it will certainly send a message to those who would question America's resolve.
The raid, led by the elite U.S. Delta Force, lasted 2 hours and included taking gunfire as they choppered in through skies controlled by Russia in Syria, using a dog to chase Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi on the ground before cornering him and his 3 young children he'd taken with him in a dead-end tunnel, where he set off a suicide vest, killing them all. The high-stakes operation accelerated, according to a senior State Department official, after Turkey launched its operation into Syria and the president announced the sudden withdrawal of U.S. troops, creating what they described as a chaotic situation, with the president accused of abandoning the Syrian Kurds, who the official praised as playing a very, very important role in the raid. Pentagon officials also confirming
there were 2 adult males taken off the objective alive, and they're in our custody.
Also this weekend, a separate airstrike that also led to the death of ISIS spokesperson, their number 2, Abu Hassan al-Muhajir. As the president declares success in the region.
When he was big time, he built the ISIS caliphate. You hear about ISIS, that was him.
The mission not over, as they continue to reposition troops throughout Syria.
The fundamental purpose of securing those oil fields is to deny those oil fields access to ISIS in order to prevent ISIS from resurgence.
Pentagon officials say they are keeping the president's promise to bring troops home eventually once the mission to defeat ISIS is accomplished. Serena Marshall, ABC News, Washington.
And we're also hearing from South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham about the U.S. Special Forces raid that killed the ISIS leader. Senator Graham said he had been speaking with the presidents for months about the war on terror.
Last night, the best of America confronted the worst of mankind, and the good guys won.
Meanwhile, as several 2020 presidential candidates stopped in the Midlands over the weekend, presidential hopeful Julian Castro took some time during his visit to Benedict College to comment on President Trump's announcement Sunday, calling it ironic.
I find it ironic that the president is trying to take credit when he routinely attacks our intelligence agencies who helped make the demise of al-Baghdadi possible.
Well, back here at home early this morning, Columbia police say someone tried to steal an ATM by ramming a car into a building. Investigators say it all happened at the CVS pharmacy in the 2700 block of Forest Drive. No one was injured, and police say the suspects were not able to steal that ATM. No suspects are in custody at this time, but if you have any information that can help, you're asked to call the Columbia Police Department or Crime Stoppers at 1-888-CRIME-SC.
A 23-year-old man reported missing last week has been found dead. Derek Slater's body was found Saturday morning along Scales Road in Sumter County, not far from where his car had been found. An autopsy revealed Slater died of a gunshot wound. The sheriff's office says persons of interest have been identified. A murder suspect in Sumter was arrested over the weekend. Tajay Spann was taken into custody Saturday night. He's accused of killing 33-year-old Richard Martin at a home on Patricia Drive just after midnight back on October 9th after an argument. And one man was killed and another injured after a fight at the Hartford Community Center in Newberry County Saturday. Deputies say several people fired shots during that dispute. According to investigators, they do not know much about the suspects because of the lack of cooperation from people who attended the party. If you happen to know anything about this, please call the Newberry County Sheriff's Office or Crime Stoppers, and you can do that anonymously.
Some changes may be coming to some prisons in the Palmetto State. According to the director of the South Carolina's prisons, the agency will begin classifying inmates by their behavior while serving time, not by the crime they've committed. According to the Post and Courier, the reclassification could reduce the number of maximum security inmates by 4,000. Corrections Director Brian Sterling says consolidating maximum security will allow his chronically short staff to concentrate on the worst behaved inmates. Sex offenders on probation and parole will once again be under a curfew this Halloween. The Department of Probation, Parole, and Pardon Services announced today that the curfew will last from 5 in the evening and then last until 9 o'clock Halloween night. Now, in addition, sex offenders under supervision cannot have on outside lights or distribute candy or participate in Halloween in any way. Prisma Health Richland has some simple steps that you can take to make sure your ghouls and goblins have a happy trick-or-treating experience. Now, make sure that they eat dinner first. This is the first suggestion. It will keep them from eating just a little bit too much candy as they're out and give them energy for all their fun. All children under the age of 12 should be accompanied by an adult. Kids over that age should trick or treat in groups of at least 3. And stay in your neighborhood where you know the neighbors and only go to houses with decorations and outdoor lighting. For more of these helpful tips, you can go to our website, abccolumbia.com.
So candy for dinner, not
Yes.
a good idea.
No, not at all.
Hundreds of 5th graders from across the Midlands are spending some time this week at the Harbison State Forest. It's all part of their annual Wood Magic Forest Fair. Students are spending a day at the forest to learn about the importance of trees, conservation, and how we take care of our forests. It's a day filled of learning through hands-on experiences and demonstrations.
I want the kids to learn that it's okay to cut trees and use the things that we get from our forests in a wise way. And we want them to know that, you know, we are doing things to take care of our forests.
The program continues throughout this week with different schools going each day. And they have good weather for it, at least today.
At least today, yeah. Let's see if it can last.
All right, up next, how you can catch a free ride to your next job interview.
Plus, why hanging out with friends isn't just a good time, it's also good for you. We'll explain on the other side of the break. Stay with us for more ABC Columbia News at 5.
From Main and Gervais, this is